Now that the war with Italy was over, the one against the Saxons, which had been interrupted for the time being, was taken up once more. No war ever undertaken by the Frankish people was more prolonged, more full of atrocities, or more demanding of effort. The Saxons, like almost all the people living in Germany, are ferocious by nature. They are much given to devil worship, and they are hostile to our religion. They think it no dishonour to violate and transgress the laws of God and man. Hardly a day passed without some incident or other which was well calculated to break the peace. Our brothers and theirs were contiguous and nearly everywhere in flat open country, except indeed for a few places where great forests or mountain ranges interposed to separate the territories of the two people by a clear demarcation line. Murder, robbery, and arson were of constant occurrence on both sides. In the end, the Franks were so irritated by these incidents that they decided that the time had come to abandon retaliatory measures and to undertake a full-scale war against the Saxons. War was duly declared against them. It was waged for 33 long years and with immense hatred on both sides. But the losses of the Saxons were greater than those of the Franks. This war could have been brought to a more rapid conclusion had it not been for the faithlessness of the Saxons. It is hard to say just how many times they were beaten and surrendered as suppliants to Charlemagne, promising to do all that was exalted from them, giving the hostages who were demanded, and this without delay, and receiving the ambassadors who were sent to them. Sometimes they were so cowed and reduced that they even promised to abandon their devil worship and submit willingly to the Christian faith. But, however ready they might seem from time to time to do all this, they were always prepared to break the promises they had made. I cannot really judge which of these two courses can be said to have come the more easily to the Saxons, for since the very beginning of the war against them, hardly a year passed in which they did not vacillate between surrender and defiance. However, the king's mettlesome spirit and his imperturbability, which remained as constant in adversity as in prosperity, were not to be quelled by their ever-changing tactics, or indeed to be wearied by a task which he had undertaken. Not once did he allow anyone who had offended in this way to go unpunished. He took vengeance on them for their perfidy, and meted out suitable punishment, either by means of an army which he led himself, or by dispatching a force against them under the command of his counts. In the end, when all those who had been offering resistance had been utterly defeated and subjected to his power, he transported some 10,000 men, taken from among those who lived on both sides of the river Elbe and across the river, and dispersed them in small groups, with their wives and children, in various parts of Gaul and Germany. At long last, this war, which had dragged on for so many years, came to an end on conditions imposed by the king and accepted by the Saxons. These last were to give up their devil worship and the malpractices inherited from their forefathers, and then, once they had adopted the sacraments of the Christian faith and religion, they were to be united with the Franks and become one people with them.